Alright. So when we last left off, did I just break my controller? Jesus fucking Christ. When we last left off... Ugh. Sakura, dude. How did this happen? We started the investigation of Sakura. A coward. A fucking coward killed her. She, like, no one... Even Monokuma was like... I don't know if I could beat Sakura. Like, if there was a fight, like, Sakura, I don't know if I could even beat her. Like, there's no fucking way one of us fucking dweebs, like, tried to get the jump on her and beat her. Even if they came at her with, like, a fucking gun, she would fucking, take that gun and then punch you in the face, you know? She was poisoned. 100% she was poisoned. Alright, we got the Monokuma file. That's where we last left off. The victim was Sakura Ogami. The time of death is estimated to be around 12 noon. What time is it now? The body was discovered in the rec room on the 3rd floor of the school. What time is it now? There's a clock back there. There is evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head. No other injuries were noted. That's what they want us to think. They did that after the fact. You don't get the jump on Sakura. However, it seems that at some point, the victim suffered from violent vomiting of blood. There it is. There it is. Has been added to the true section. Have your handbook.
Hey.
I think the case this time might be a challenge. Why is that?
So...
The only way into the rec room is the door we just came through, and that door has been jammed shut with the chair from inside the rec room, which means the killer would have had to escape somehow after barring the door. That's what I said. That was literally like the first thing that I said when we entered. I was like, there's only one entrance. It's like, did Sakura bar the door herself? So if the door was blocked from the inside, then there's no way in or out till we broke the window. There's like zero escape, right? There's another hidden door. Dude, imagine another secret locked door. In other words, this is the classic locked room murder. Locked room murder? I guess you might see this kind of thing in mystery movies or books or whatever. But could it really happen in real life and right before our eyes like this? Hey. Are you curious to hear more about what a locked room murder entails? Sure.
That's fine.
When you break down this kind of murder mystery, there are 4 basic types. The first type is when the locked room is created after the actual crime is committed. Right? Makes sense. This simply means that the killer commits his crime, goes through some special method, seals the room. This mainly involves some sort of trick involving the locking of the room. Basic approaches include using a string or a simple mechanism. There are a number of variations. So for all we'd have to do is check the door to see if it was right. The second type is the locked room already exists before the crime is committed. So she can't escape. Basically, the killer uses a special contraption or a tool from outside to target the victim inside. You push a switch and it fires a handgun. You shoot an arrow through a gap in the door, something like that.
However...
But in the case that doesn't seem to fit, yeah, right? She'd have fucking caught the arrow. The bullet would have hit her and she'd have just like flexed it and then it'd have fallen out onto the floor. There are no guns or arrows in the school and the door doesn't have any gap that would allow it. Yeah, I think we can probably cross that one off the list.
True.
The third type is when the killer stays in the room until it is opened. Ooh. We all entered at the same time. Oh, we can't test that. No. Everyone showed up after the fact. What do you mean by that?
In other words,
they stay hidden. When the door is opened, they use the confusion to blend in with the group. They pretend they showed up along with everyone else, and that's that. That sounds like it could have been possible, maybe.
It's true.
That's possible. But I thought everyone arrived. Like, we entered, 3 of us entered at the same time. Wasn't me, Kyoko, or Aoi. We all entered at the same time. And then, like, everyone else arrived. It's possible. But it was such like a teleport, like, all right, everyone's here now. The fourth and final type is when it wasn't actually a locked room at all. Not a locked room. By that, I mean, there's actually an alternate escape route somewhere within the room. You see this in a lot of novels and things, but in reality, it's generally not possible. Then you think we can cross that one off too? No. We literally found a hidden door. We literally found like a hidden door. Why are we ruling out the fact that there could be a hidden door here as well?
Indeed.
I believe so, yes. So when it comes to the locked room mysteries, those are the basics. There are 4 possibilities. Then Kyoko, which of the 4 does it seem most likely in this case?
It's true.
That's a good question. Answering that should be our primary focus during this trial. But right now, I can't really say. I see. The way the killer set up the locked room. Until I figure that out, the truth behind Sakura's death will stay hidden. It's definitely a tough mystery. I need to concentrate and investigate as much as I can. For Sakura, if nothing else. What time is it? It's around 1. She died an hour ago? According to Monokuma file, she died around 12 noon, so roughly an hour ago. Was that when Kyoko and I were moving alter ego? Nah. I was moving alter ego. Kyoko stood watch at the door. The fuck is this? There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair Sakura was sitting on. Oh, a vial. The blood is all red and on top of the bottom sections of the bottle. On the top section of the bottle, right? This must have originally been a bottle. Alright, a broken bottle. Dude, she could have drank that. And then dropped it. I've ever seen the TV show Preacher asking if the voice actor for Krieg plays Satan in the show? No, I haven't watched it at all. There's something else on the ground here near the glass. It fits in the palm of my hand. It's a horse. It's a Monokuma figure. Figure on the floor has been added to the truth section bullets. What is that? What chess piece is that? What is 3569? I don't know what the fuck that is. What's the horse chess piece called? A knight? That moves in L's. Sakura took an L. This looks like some kind of wrapper.
Huh?
That's... You recognize it?
Well,
yeah, I mean, I gave it to her. That's a candy wrapper. Sakura got super upset when she found out Genocide Jack had attacked me, right? So after we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help calm her down a little bit. So you gave that candy to Sakura? I found a big box of it in the warehouse. I really like them. Actually, as soon as we get into the warehouse, I took the entire box back to my room. I made sure nobody else could get their hands on them. Well, Sakura has it. You really like them that much?
I mean...
But I wanted Sakura to get a chance to try one for herself. That's why I gave it to her. But now they've lost all their flavor. Huh? What does that mean? Polka dot candy wrapper has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Dude, the only right hard candy, you know those hard candies that are wrapped in the watermelon design and you open it and you like the watermelon flavor and you put it in your mouth and then it's got that goop in it? That's the only correct hard candy. I tell you right now. That's it. That is S tier. Chem A12. Protozine X. That's like protein shake. There's some kind of plastic container rolling around near the entrance of the room.
So...
Looks like a protein drink. And it's empty. Sakura must have drank it. Everyone knows how much she loved her protein. She mentioned more than once how protein was good for all sorts of ailments.
Wrong.
I wouldn't take that to heart if I were you. I know. Why? Protein is good. Well, maybe not for ailments, but protein is good. But still, this protein can, it's got a label on it that says Chem A2. That reminds me, Sakura mentioned how the Chem Lab had all sorts of health stuff. So she must have gotten this from the Chem Lab.
Just a second.
But that's strange. What is?
Hey.
You see what's scattered around the can? Shards of glass. Shards of light blue glass. That must be parts from the window I broke to get inside. Yeah.
Correct.
But they aren't just scattered around the can. They're also underneath it. Why does that matter? That means that was dropped in after them. What? I can't say for sure yet, but you're probably going to want to take note of that. I feel like it'll become an important clue later on. Oh, it is the fucking... Someone did come in after the fact with the fucking thing. An important clue, I'm not sure I see how. Empty protein drink has been added to the truth section. So someone walked in after the fact holding that. Could have been Aoi, Byakuya, Toko, or Hiro. Those are the people who all arrived at the same time. Wait, that bottle looks like this bottle. There are 4 red bottles lined up on the shelf. Inside each bottle, there's some kind of Monokuma figure. What I'm wondering is how'd they get those figurines inside the bottle? Who gives a fuck?
So...
It's no different to your standard ship in a bottle. Huh? You know when the bottle's opening is smaller than the boat placed inside? You never seen that? Oh yeah, maybe I have.
In other words...
So this is the Monokuma version of that. A Monokuma bottle, if you will. Ah, so this whole thing is like a... Is this Byakuya's doing? It's very... gamey. Ship in a bottle. How does the end result get in the bottle when the tip of the bottle doesn't allow the end thing to get in there? In the same way, how is Sakura in a locked room alone when there's no room to enter the room alone? Very poetic, this killing is. I feel like I'm finally starting to make sense of things little by little. But why would they set it up like that? The Monokuma bottle's sitting on the shelf. The Monokuma figure we saw on the ground. The red shards of glass, which probably started out as a bottle, which would mean Sakura must have been hit in the head with a Monokuma bottle, right? The shards of glass and the Monokuma figure are evidence of that. And I think it's safe to say that the Monokuma bottle was the weapon. That didn't kill her, though. Wait, she hit all the way back here? Dude, there's a vent on the ground! There's a blood stain in front of the magazine shelf. It must have come from Sakura, right? But that doesn't make sense. Why is it so far away from where she died? Gotten a raise, so you thought it might be good to give a gift sub? Nice. Also, congratulations on the raise. I've never gotten a raise. But also, I don't work a normal job. Magazine shelf blood stain has been added. What about the vent? There's a vent on the ground. Alright, wrong one. What is this? A locker? The killer hid in the locker. Why are there stains in there? Why are there handprints in there? The locker's open and on the inside. It's a handprint?
Why?
What's a handprint doing here? It looks like someone touched the inside of the locker and left a handprint in all this dust.
True.
It looks quite fresh too. I'd say someone was hiding here in the locker and they left behind a little something extra. So then, maybe the killer hid in here until the locker was open, don't you think? And during all the confusion, they popped out and joined the rest of the group.
Wrong.
Unfortunately, that's not possible. Why not? Hey. Think back. Before we opened the door, we looked inside the room, right? The locker was already open. That's when they was attacked. I thought that. I thought this was like a sneak attack sort of thing. Locker was already open.
Indeed.
So there's no way someone could have hidden in there until after we opened the door. So then, what does this handprint mean? It means they hid in there. That's what that means, you fool. What else? What else? There's a chair. Well, that's the chair that was used to block the door. The chair was shoved up against the doorknob, so we couldn't get the door open. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the chair. In other words, there's no reason to think the chair had anything special done to it. Weird. Also, who could fit in the locker? Theoretically, all of the characters. Sakura was literally the only character who couldn't fit in the locker, so doesn't really make sense. Probably if Aoi was in the locker, there'd also be a boob mark. Be a tight fit for her. We already know who did it. Byakuya, Toko, or Hiro. It had to be one of them. They couldn't stand the sight of her. You agree with me, don't you, Makoto? Well, I don't want to say anything for sure without finding out more. Then let me help you find out more. You see, Sakura asked all three of them to meet with her. You know where? Right here in the rec room. What? After I went to the nurse's office this morning, Sakura and I both left together, right? Well, eventually she went off on her own. When I saw her again after that, she told me. She said she'd left a note for each of them. She'd asked them to meet her in the rec room by noon. By noon? The Monokuma file said she died around then. I'm telling you the truth. I heard it right from Sakura herself, and I tried to stop her. But she wouldn't listen. She said not to worry, that she just wanted to talk to them. And this is what happened. If I'd stopped her by force even, this never would have happened. Hina. It's impossible not to have regrets, I know. Aoi's account has been added to the truth bullet section. So if anyone says, I didn't get a note, they're lying. And it was them. But the fact that she had asked those three to meet with her, and she'd asked her to come to the rec room at noon, the same time and place she ended up dying. It might be good to confirm what I just heard with the three of them directly. Kyoko, what do you have to say? I think you're hella sus. But for Sakura to have been killed, yeah, she's not the type who would go down without a fight.
It's true.
And she certainly didn't, I would say. She was the ultimate martial artist, strong in body, mind, and spirit. So how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her? I wonder, did someone get the upper hand? They must have taken her by surprise, right?
Certainly.
Certainly. They would have needed to if they expected to stand any chance against her. She was coughing up blood.
What?
What do you want? You're bothering me. There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Make it quick. Is it true that Sakura asked you to meet with her in the rec room? So you found out. Interesting. Then it's true? I did receive a note to that effect, yes. But what fool would do that? Would do what it said? The risk of being killed by that monster. So you didn't go see her? Of course not. I ripped the note to shreds and threw it away. I haven't seen Sakura today at all. So he says... Byakuya says he didn't go to see her. Is that the truth? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact.
Come on.
If you're all finished, please remove yourself from my sight. Okay, thanks. So Byakuya says he hasn't seen her. What else is in this room? I feel like I've analyzed everything. Except this. The same shelf full of magazines. There's all kinds of different magazines here. Alright, nothing. I think that's it. I think we've analyzed everything. This door's the only way out of the rec room. The door doesn't have a lock. There's no evidence of that the mountings have been tampered with. The only notable change to the door is the smashed window, which happened, of course, when I broke it. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the inside. In other words, I don't see anything suspicious about the door itself. I'm examining both the door and the chair. There's no doubt the reason the door didn't open was simply because the chair was shoved up against it. This kept the doorknob from turning and the door from opening. And there was no evidence of the door or chair being tampered with, or anything like that. So the killer must have created the locked room from the inside, not the outside. The rec room door. So what? Dude, I don't understand. I still don't understand how if someone could lock the door and escape. It just doesn't make sense. Same thing, my bad. Did I skip dialogue? Can I leave? I need to examine the crime scene. There's still more? What? Oh, Sakura. Probably. Herself. Sakura drew her last breath, sitting slumped forward in this chair. There's obvious evidence the blow to the head Sakura suffered. Normally, I wouldn't have any problem believing that's what killed her, but according to the Monokuma file, she also vomited blood. And I could see traces of blood on her lips for sure. So what would have caused her to vomit blood? The Monokuma file specifically said she hadn't suffered any other injuries. Status of Sakura's body. Maybe her getting hit on the head somehow caused her to start vomiting blood? It's not how that works. Not a chance. That's not how that works. Byakuya. However, your eyes have landed on the most interesting location. Interesting?
Naturally.
Yes, most interesting, don't you agree? No, I don't think I'd call it interesting. But it does make me wonder. The reason Sakura vomited blood absolutely has to be connected to how she died, to why she died.
Listen.
Well, Makoto, have you finished with your general investigation? Yes, I think so, for the most part.
So then.
Then you should probably go talk with people now. I'm on guard duty, so I can't leave. Which is why I've decided you'll go in my place. She's decided? She's gotten a lot more pushy since we had our issue. But she's right. I have to go talk to the others. Sakura wanted to meet with 2 other people. I need to hear what they have to say. Alright. Let's see what, the Toko and Hiro have to say. Those other 2 people probably went back to their rooms. Huh. Check the corners. Their rooms. Oh, their rooms. Oh my glob. I need to check Byakuya's room. So Toko is like right next to Sayaka? Yeah. Knock, knock. I pressed the doorbell. Okay, ding dong. After a few seconds.
Who's there?
Voice acting. The most negative aura I've ever felt. An aura of total decay.
Well, what do you want?
So you're back to normal. Genocide Jack isn't around anymore.
Don't even say her name. It makes me sick to my stomach.
I always feel like voice acting is an indication that bad shit's about to happen.
I was in such a good mood, too.
She didn't look like she was in a good mood.
Hey, I was hoping to talk to you about something. Is now a bad time?
Obviously annoyed, Toko slithered out into the hall. She's also a snake.
What do you want?
You said you wanted to talk to me about something? I wanted to talk to you about the fact that Sakura had asked to meet with you.
Well...
I don't know what you're talking about. Byakuya already told me she asked to meet with him. Already told me she had asked to meet with him. Oh, what? She wanted to meet with Master too? I just said too, didn't I? I guess now it's totally obvious, huh? Yeah, pretty much. So can you tell me about it? I admit it, I did get the note, but I didn't go see her. I was scared, so I couldn't bring myself to go. Toko claims she didn't go to see her, but can I really believe her? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact. Is that good enough? Then I'm going back to my room. With that, Toko quickly retreated back into her room. Very interesting. Where does... Oh, Hero. I've already been into this man's room. I pressed the doorbell. After a few seconds.
You know?
What's up, Makoto? Did you need something? Yeah. Yeah, actually, I wanted to check on something. It's about how Sakura wanted to meet with you. I should say how Byakuya and Toko both went to see her. I should lie to him. Yeah, I actually wanted to check on something about how Sakura wanted to meet with you.
What?
How'd you know about that?
Could it be?
Maybe you gazed into my soul? Have your special abilities awakened in you? But I'm not the only one she wanted to meet with. Ogre told me herself that she asked Byakuya and Toko to come too. What? When did Sakura tell you that?
What?
Well, when she asked me to meet with her, of course. But didn't she write you a note? Yeah, a note.
How about that?
She gave it to me in person, and she happened to mention the others, like in passing. I gotta be honest, this is super suspicious. So then you went to meet with Sakura?
You got it all wrong.
No way, I totally didn't. Why would I ever do that? Yeah, definitely suspicious.
Actually,
the last time I saw Ogre was when Hina got hurt and I took her to the nurse's office.
Don't look at me.
That doesn't fit the timeline. That doesn't fit the timeline at all. He gave her the note. Sakura handed out the notes after the whole nurses thing. Aoi was like, after the nurses thing, Sakura went off to go meet with everyone, to write the notes and shit. Not before. His story ain't lining up. I haven't seen her since then. While I'm here, could you show me the note she gave you? Do I still have it? Let's see. Hiro was feeling around in his pockets.
Hey, come on.
Sorry, it looks like I don't have it anymore. With a big goofy smile on his face, he pulled his hands back out of his pockets. But when he did, I saw something flutter to the ground. Something had fallen out of Hiro's pockets. This seems like the most obvious thing ever. Unless Aoi is setting them up. Huh? Huh?
What?
Quick as the wind, Hiro snatched it back up again and shoved it back into his pockets.
Hey, come on.
Sorry, just a bit of trash I forgot to throw out. Trash?
What?
Anyway, I can't deny that Ogre asked to meet with me, but I never went. So, well, if you'll excuse me. Before waiting for a reply, Hiro quickly slipped back into his room. Hiro said that it was just trash, but there's no way that was all there was to it. It seems like the most obvious thing ever. The only way would be if Aoi planted it on him. So I've heard from Toko and Hiro. What next? Dude, if it's Aoi, I'm gonna be so done with this game. I'll definitely have to look at the actual crime scene again, but on top of that, Maybe we should find out more about the protein can we found on the floor in the rec room. I'm sure it must have come from the chem lab. So where should I start? Let's go to the chem lab. It seems so obvious that it's Hero. I really hope that it's Hero. Because I cannot fucking... I will not deal with it if I lose Owie. I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind. Sorry, I sneezed directly into the mic. My bad. I didn't even turn it away. Makoto, did you have your eye on the chem lab too? Just make sure you don't get in my way. Yeah, got it. I think what you meant to say was, yes, sir, I understand. Fuck you. This isn't my first time seeing this shelf, but I can't get over how big it is. I should probably take a closer look at it. Yeah, there's a broken bottle on the ground. Looks like 3 shelves have been connected together to make one giant shelf. But more important right now, what's that powder that's been spilled in front of the ground? I have to be careful not to step in it. Dude, take everyone's hand size, test it towards the locker. Take everyone's shoe, put it up onto the shoe. This is like the easiest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life. These are footprints? They're only in front of the left shelf. How do these footprints relate to the scene as a whole? Maybe we need to sketch out a floor plan. By we, do you mean me? How kind of you to offer. With an insufferable smirk, he handed me a piece of paper and a pen.
What?
Well done, let's go. Chop, chop. Okay. So I got to work, and before long, I'd drawn up a sketch of the room. So how's this? Yeah. Not bad for you, I mean. For me.
See.
So when you look at it like this... Interesting. It would appear that whoever left these footprints only had business at the leftmost shelf. They came in, went straight to that shelf, did whatever they had to do, and then left. That's what the footprints tell me.
I see.
These footprints must be... They might be Sakura's. They might just be protein powder.
It's certainly possible.
Makoto, are they yours? Nope.
What?
Okay, then let me see your shoe and I'll confirm their size for myself. I couldn't think of a reason not to, so I quietly did what Byakuya said. I see, your feet do appear to be too big. It's gotta be a woman. Small feet. Unfortunately, I must admit, these are not your footprints. Unfortunately? But with how clear these prints are, it should be quite easy to determine who they do belong to. That's what I was saying. Then these prints really are a valuable clue. That's what I was saying, dude. It's like the easiest thing. There's a broken bottle in front of the shelf. This is where all the powder came from. It looks like the bottle had Chem C4. Explosives. This is what they use for C4 explosives. Would you like to hear something interesting? I was on the 4th floor this morning, checking things out. And at that point, this room wasn't like this. Then this powder must have been spilled.
So in other words...
That's right. It only could have been around the time of the incident. If that's really what happened, it must be related to the case somehow. Poison. The source of the powder has been added. Alright, the skull and crossbones don't indicate good. Let's see, what's on this shelf? A lot of chem. There's all kinds of dietary supplements and different medicines. The protein drink we found in the rec room probably came from this shelf. All the containers on the shelf are labeled with the letter A and a number. Except C9. Where's the Chem C9 come into play? That's on the wrong shelf. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving of the unit section A. But wait. There's one bottle here that's labeled Chem C9. Could someone have put it here on accident? No. A, B, C. This shelf is. This is where all the C came in. And look, I can tell something. It's nothing but dangerous chemicals. Look at these poisons and powerful chemicals. All the containers are labeled with the letter C and a number. So I guess I consider this part of the shelving at unit section C. So someone took the poison, came back, put the poison on shelf A. Yo, that's such a dumb Hero move to do. He doesn't know that they're all labeled. Hero's such an idiot. Oh, my bad. My bad. that it? First, I have to check out the area. Oh, do I want to check out Shelf B? So on this shelf is... Shelf B is useless. It looks like a bunch of chemicals that I have no idea what they are. They're reagents? Put simply, they're used in experiments to bring out a chemical reaction. How have you lived such ignorance for so long? It truly must be bliss. Isn't that kind of harsh? What do you think studying science and mathematics has no practical application in the real world? The words of a lifelong loser, which I suppose suits you well. I didn't even say that. Anyway, that doesn't matter right now. I need to focus on the shelf. Lots of B, labeled with B and a number. So I guess I consider this section B. I don't see anything out of the ordinary here. In which case, I don't have much to worry about on this shelf. I should try to find out more about the shelving unit. It looks like they're split into 3 sections. Section A has dietary supplements. Section B has reagents. Section C has lethal chemicals. Sakura must have gotten protein powder from Section A. But what concerns me is that in Section A, there was a bottle that was labeled from Section C. What was a bottle of poison from Section C doing in Section A? There's definitely something going on here. Chem lab shelf. This is after the fact. Someone poisoned her bottle. They were shuffling on Section C. Bottle fell, bottle shatters. They take Section C, go off somewhere, somehow poison Sakura, come back, walk across the shit on the floor, put it on shelf A. What are you talking about? I've already analyzed the area. What's this? Oh, the emptiness. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor. Better not leave a footprint. I should probably take a good hard look at that powder. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered across the floor on the shelf. There also remains a broken bottle. It looks like the bottle was labeled Chem C4. It looks like someone left footprints in the powder. Based on the positioning of the prints, whoever did it went to the left side of the shelf. True. According to Byakuya, the powder would have to have been spilled right around the time of the incident. That's all I can tell for now. Footprints and powder has been added to the truth section. Is that it? I've already taken a good look at the chem lab. Maybe I should take a look around the rec room. Alright. Back to the rec room we go. Fuck you, Byakuya. Let me talk to you again. Do you have anything else? Makoto, I admit, you have a good eye for spotting useful clues. But you also need to learn how to make use of those clues. Fuck you. Dude, you know what's upsetting? All of the characters that had a voice are dead. Sakura had a voice. Celeste had the vampiric voice. Mondo had a manly voice. Taka. Dude, they're all dead. Now I'm left with very, like, normal, monotone characters.
Hey.
Reagents is reaction agents. How do I say it? Reagents. Oh, that's probably how, not reagents. So it's pronounced reagents? Aw. So, Makoto, how's your investigation going? I told Kyoko what Toko and Hiro had told me.
See.
So along with Byakuya, they're both claiming they didn't go see her. All the characters I like died? Not all of them. Most of them. It looks all too convenient. Someone must be lying. Someone's lying?
Anyway.
Well, I've made some progress of my own. Sakura's body, the shelf of magazines, and the Monokuma bottles. These 3 things have revealed new clues. You'd do well to look over them one more time. Alright, the Monokuma bottles. I think Kyoko said she'd found a new clue involving the Monokuma bottles. Something's new. Something new.
Hey.
Did you figure it out? There's a hidden correlation between all of the bottles. Pay careful attention and you'll find it. I don't know chess. A correlation? Chess? Can't just tell me what it is?
So...
I don't mind guiding you towards clues, but giving you my conclusion isn't a good idea. Each person needs to come to their own conclusions, so that everyone can have confidence in the outcome. And it's not just because you don't trust... And it's not because you don't trust me, right? A no answer. I do trust you, to a degree. Otherwise, I wouldn't have told you anything to begin with. Only to a degree. Same thing. Has been updated. I didn't notice anything new. How has it been updated? Actually, there's one other thing about Monokuma's bottles that's bothering me. I'd like to do an experiment to confirm it. You mind helping me, right? An experiment?
Anyway.
Can you gather up all the pieces of the broken Monokuma bottle? Try to get the smaller pieces too. Yo, is she really gonna, like, rebuild the bottle? Dude, it's gonna be like Breaking Bad with the plate all over again. Only this is way more ridiculous because it's a bottle. Are you sure it's okay to mess with the crime scene like that?
That doesn't matter.
I've already done a thorough investigation, so it's fine. And that obnoxious Byakuya is not here, so...
So then...
Anyway, I need to get something from the chem lab. While I'm gone, try to gather up all the glass. With that, Kyoko left the room. I don't really know what this is about, but... What choice do I have? I'd better just do it. I took the broom and dustpan and got to work collecting all of the broken bottle pieces. And just as I finished up... Sorry to keep you waiting.
So then...
Is everything ready? Then let's get to work. So what kind of experiment are we doing?
In other words...
I got a scale from the chem lab. We're going to use it to compare weights. Compare weights of what? Oh, that's much smarter. The pieces of glass you've collected and the one in the Monokuma files that's still intact. Why do you want to do that? The point of the experiment. It'll make sense when we're done. Will it still weigh the same?
Listen.
First, let's compare the weight of 2 normal Monokuma bottles. This is smarter. I thought she was going to literally glue the entire bottle back together. It's balanced, as everything should be.
In other words...
She's Thanos, of course. Which means Monokuma bottle weighs about the same. Which makes sense. The Monokuma figures inside are basically the same, right? And nothing else could really affect the weight.
So then...
Now here comes the important part. Put all the pieces you picked up on the side of the scale. What might we expect to see? Well, a normal assumption would be either they'll balance out or the pieces I collected will be lighter. I did my best to collect them, but there's a chance I could have missed some here and there. So let's give it a try. Huh? The broken pieces are heavier? How is that possible?
I knew it.
There's another bottle. What?
In other words...
The result of our experiment and the correlation between each of the bottles put it together. Double bottle. Hit her with one bottle, hit her with a second bottle.
Hey.
And I believe you'll arrive at one very persuasive conclusion. So what do you think? It's all on you. Monokuma bottle experiment. But there's also a plastic bag. Weird. Owie. What about the candy wrapper? We already know who did it. Wait, same dialogue? Same dialogue. Oh, she also told me to take a look at the magazines. Kyoko said the magazine shelf was hiding a clue of some kind. A clue. A clue. What the fuck is that? A magazine is upside down? Ladies! I don't know what that says other than the word ladies. Did someone put it back that way on accident?
Hey.
If something catches your eye, it's important for you to explore in detail, don't you think? Yeah, you're right. I picked up the inverted magazine and flipped through it. Aw, they rolled up the magazine and beat her over the head with it like a dog. This is... Ooh! Toko. That must have been Sakura who wrote that. It's like the most obvious. Sakura, like, fucking, she gets wounded. Toko, like, does the thing. She walks over to the magazine stand, writes it, shoves it back in, upside down, so we'll notice. Goes over to the chair and, like, bleeds out. This is one of the pages near the center of the magazine has a word written on it, bloody letters, and it says, Toko. Could this be a dying message?
Correct.
Then it would appear you found it. Kyoko, is this?
So...
It is indeed a dying message. Someone used their finger to write it. A dying message.
However...
But just to be clear, I'm not the one who put it back upside down. It was already like that when I found it a little while ago. Yo, Teacup-head, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Hope your day's been going good. I made sure to put it back exactly how I found it, for the benefit of the others who might come looking. Hey, is that... That says Toko, right? Yeah, it looks like it.
What the heck?
Then she's the killer, right? Well, it hasn't been confirmed yet. It's settled. She's the killer for sure. That's conclusive evidence, right? We can use it to corner the killer. I can see why you would think that, but it just seems too easy. If anything, it makes me that much more suspicious. I feel like Byakuya is only this smart. Byakuya or Toko, I feel like, are the only ones smart enough to, like, do this. Write a dying message. Set up the whole ship in the bottle situation surrounding surrounding Sakura. It's, like, too smart. Like, someone smart is behind this. What else did you tell me to take a look at? Should I take a look at this again? I gave that to Sakura. She got super upset when she found out Genocide Jack had attacked me. So after we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help calm her down a bit. Did you tell me to take a look at Sakura? According to Kyoko, there's something that has to be discovered from Sakura's body.
Just a second.
Just staring off into space isn't going to help you figure anything out. Well, yeah, I know, but...
Hey.
Don't you think you might need to actually examine the body? Ah, Sakura's actually a boy this entire time. We're combining every murder so far. The dying message, the boy. There's no getting around it. Unlike me, Kyoko didn't recoil at the thought of touching a dead body. She was completely unemotional. Is this the kind of thing I've grown persuasively used to? Although, there are still some times. I can't believe how calm you are. No matter how many times I see a dead body, I can't get used to it.
It's true.
That's totally normal. Toko is smart. Genocide Jack is smart. Genocide Jack is like a famous serial killer that's gotten away with dozens of murders. Yeah, you kind of have to be... A bumbling idiot doesn't just get away with that. But it could have been like a combination of the two. Then how can you... I imagine it's because I've had plenty of opportunities to touch dead bodies in the past. What? Sorry, never mind.
Hey.
More importantly, look here. Her shoes!
Correct.
You see that yellow powder on her instep? Yeah, it really stands out.
I see.
That powder is clue number 1. Yellow powder has been added to the truth bullets. Maybe they didn't even inhale the bullet. No. I was about to say, maybe they just, like, took the powder and, like, gas bombed her, you know, like a handful of poison, just boof right to the face, but then she'd be covered in powder. So she consumed it via her own powder. But why is it on her foot? Why is it on top of her foot? How does that happen? Is she the one that knocked over the poison? What?
Hey.
Next is the wound to her head. Look carefully.
It's true.
Actually, even telling you that, it's incredibly difficult to spot, so let me just explain.
It
It would appear that she didn't suffer a single blow, but instead received 2 blows to the head. I was right. 1 bottle, 2 bottles. 2 blows?
Indeed.
Interesting, wouldn't you say? There's one more interesting
Correct.
thing. Both of her hands were spotless. There are absolutely no trace of blood on either of them. So it wasn't Toko. Someone wrote Toko's name. Someone went through the Liberty. That means her hands are spotless. She didn't write it. So that's what I learned from examining her body in detail. Jesus Christ. So, she was hit over the bottle with 2 heads. One Monokuma figure is missing. Someone else wrote in Sakura's blood on the magazine. So it was not Toko. They want to set up Toko. I can't believe she was able to learn all that just by looking at her body. I don't think anyone but Kyoko could have pulled that off. Dude, these investigations are getting shorter and shorter. Did I say hit over the bottle with 2 heads? Hit over the head with 2 bottles.
Whoops.
Listen, you know what I meant.
Sleeping. Your investigation was just so boring, I couldn't stay awake.
Fuck you, Monokuma.
Should I do it? Is it okay? Can I? Okay, then let's begin the class trial. Please go through the red door on the 1st floor of the school. See you soon.
Dude, she didn't even get to fucking roll his ass. Is it time already? But the mystery of the locked room is still only half solved. At this point, whatever happens will happen at the class trial. No, whatever happens, I have to make something happen. Oh, we gotta go. Dude, I swear to God, if it's Owie, we are not continuing this game. Done. Game over. Moving on. Ah!